Hello, and welcome to the Sabres Beerleaguers, a podcast about our beloved hockey team, the Buffalo Sabres. Sean and Jake here join you from your beer league benchwarmers. This is our podcast about the Sabres. So I could say this is probably the most anticipated episode that Jake and I have wanted to do for a while. It's our Armchair GM that we saw to talk about all these things that we want to do for the team. Well, now here's our thoughts on where we'd like to see the team, what we think the team's going to look like here in the coming season. And now that we do know, I was kind of hoping we'd wait to do this episode until after we knew the draft lottery, just in case if we didn't win the lottery, and then I could, if we won, I could throw a plug Shane Wright in there somewhere, but I have a feeling that ain't going to happen now. So
that was kind of my mindset. It's like, all right, if we had the first overall, then I could put Shane Wright in. But outside Shane Wright, it's like, all right, they're not going to make the Sabres squad.
Yeah, exactly. Let's dive right into it. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to do just like what our lines are going to be, what players we think are going to get moved?
Let's start with what players we think are going to get moved.
Okay.
So that way that'll open up the lineups for people. I will say, before we get into my defensive core, it looks pretty much the same as what this season was. And that really makes me mad.
Kind of a little bit for me too. Other than, I don't know. Well, I'll go through it when we get there.
Yeah.
But so who'd you get rid of?
Casey Middlestat.
Ooh.
I think he gets traded. I think he gets moved.
Okay.
I think he just gets moved for like picks or maybe even like a prospect or something. What I would love is for him to be packaged in a deal with obviously some first rounders to get somebody like Tkachuk, Goudreau type deal, even a Tarasenko. Somebody of that caliber. But I don't think they're going to make that big of a splash trade.
Well, Tkachuk and Goudreau are both unrestricted free agents.
The UFAs? I thought they got some term on their deals.
Maybe Tkachuk still got a year. No, I know Goudreau is for sure. Because that's the talks he's probably going to sign with Philadelphia. He's going home.
Is he from
Philadelphia? He's from Philly. He's from New Jersey, but pretty much grew up most of his life in Philadelphia. So that's the big rumor that he'll go there. But I'll get into him later.
When I was up free agents, he was not on the list, but look at that.
I looked at cap friendly last
Well,
night.
hot damn. Yeah.
So maybe you can keep Middlestat and trade and still sign Goudreau.
I'd still trade Middlestat. I don't think he's done enough anymore. Like, I don't know. If they kept him, he can't be higher than a top. Like, he needs to be a third line center. I think that's his role. Pretty much all the goalies I'm getting rid of. Cody Eakin. I didn't put down who I got rid of, so I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of who is missing out of my list. Yeah, Cody Eakin. I think that's pretty. Jacob Bryson, I have to get into. I don't know what to do with him.
Okay.
So I don't know. He's an RFA. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know there's players that are missing that I can't see. Like I said, I didn't put down who I was getting rid of. Actually, I did in my phone. You start and I'll come back. If I forgot somebody, I'll add it.
I know Olofsson's contract's up, but I still think they're going to get rid of him or try and trade him. I have him not signing John Hayden. I have him trading Colin Miller and Will Butcher. Not signing Aaron Dell or Subban. And then
you have them trading Colin Miller, who's in the UFA.
Is he a UFA? I wasn't
Yeah.
sure if his contract was
Yeah,
up
I
yet.
do
Okay,
have
so
Will
him.
Butcher and Colin Miller gone.
Okay, yeah.
And then Cody
and then-
Eakin, Anders Bjork,
Oh, I forgot about Bjork. I don't know about him.
and
He's
John
been-
Hayden's gone.
Yeah, I got rid of Hayden for sure.
Bjork is still under contract, but I think he gets traded for like a 4th round pick or something
Right.
like that.
Bag of pucks.
Yeah, I mean, if they could probably bury him in Rochester. I just don't think he fits what they need to do.
No.
moving forward.
Not his scheme. So I know Hinostroza is a free agent or is a UFA coming up. I have them keeping him.
Yes, I do too.
So I'm all right with that. And I think Mark Pissick is a free agent.
Yes, he is. He's a UFA.
Yeah, and I have them keeping him for veteran minimum.
Same here.
Yep. But your note that you said about Jacob Bryson, I still have him staying on the roster too. And
He's
pairing
an RFA.
with Mark Pissick.
Just stealing my thunder for later on. All right. With that being said, let's dive into the lineup.
All right. Well,
I do line by line.
yeah. I think we can kind of
you
maybe establish what the first line gonna stay. I mean, we kind of figured it's gonna be Skinner and Thompson together. I think hopefully I would like them to keep Tuck there too.
That's what I got.
But,
Yep. So that is definitely my first line.
Yep. And then what are you doing, Kat? Yeah, that's not something you bite. Stupid. Second line, I had Cousins on the left wing with Middlestat, and I don't know who the right one would be. That would be the open spot if we do sign somebody. So I'm
Okay.
a little torn there.
I
And
have
the third-
zero. I have none of those people in my second line.
My third line, I got the young guys with Paterka, Krebs, and Quinn.
Okay. Krebs centering that.
Yep. And then
Okay.
the fourth line, I got Hinostroza with Gergensons and Okposo.
Okay. So I'll because mine's a lot different.
All right. Let's hear it.
Outside of the first line, yeah, I have Skinner, Thompson, and Talk. The second line, I added a center. Now, me being stupid, I didn't think of Johnny Gaudreau. I will say my left winger is Krebs.
Okay.
Right winger is Quinn. And then the center, my dream scenario would be Johnny Gaudreau now, or it would have been Philip Forsberg.
But I know he wanted out of Nashville too. So
Yes. And he's a free agent. Realistically, I mean, I still think it's a stretch, but is Vincent Trocheck.
dude, I had him written down and I X'd it out. I'm like, I don't know about him because there's one other guy that I threw down there too that I was thinking about for a forward.
I think, excuse me, I don't think they have a second line center on this team.
No, I agree.
So I think you need to go out and get one. I'm not high on Cousins. I like Krebs on the wing. So, and then if you can get a veteran guy that's actually good too, like a Trocheck, Gaudreau, Forsberg, centering kids like Krebs and Quinn, I think that'd be great. And then my third line, I have Cousins on the third line center because I think that realistically is his role. I have him centering JJ Paterka and Victor Olofsson.
Oh, you kept Olofsson.
I did keep Olofsson.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like I have it crossed out and everything. Like most of my cross off is because of Olofsson. I just think when he was healthy, he was very good. He had that lingering injury that I think really hindered him throughout that middle stretch of the season.
Yeah, where he went scoreless.
And then the fourth line, I have Gergensen centering Okposo and Asplund.
Ooh, I forgot about Asplund too. See, I'm not super sold on him, but
I'm not either. But I like him as I think that he meshes well with the two of them. where I even wrote down 2 extras. I wrote down 2 extra forwards and an extra defenseman and an extra goalie. My 2 extra forwards, I have Hinostroza and Brett Murray.
Oh, I forgot about Murray too. Yeah.
Hinostroza is a UFA, so you have to sign him back, which I think you could very cheaply.
Oh yeah.
And then Brett Murray is an RFA too, and I think they bring him back too. He's done. He's your Marcus Foligno type player. Yeah, those are my forward lines. Yeah, I would love if they could get one of those 3 centers, Trocheck, Forsberg, or Goudreau. Obviously, Goudreau being at the top of the list.
Right. I would love to get Goudreau too. My other forward that I thought that would like to hear him go after. Don't know really now with the Rangers kind of making a push this year, but there was talks that they were going to try and either deal or he was going to look to go somewhere else. Is Ryan Strome.
Yeah, I saw his name, and there's a few guys where it's like I could see that, but it's hard. Like they need to do something at that second line center, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard because outside of that, you have your forwards pretty much set.
Mm-hmm.
You got this place would be lit in flames if Quinn and Peterka aren't on the team next year.
Oh yeah, 100% for how well they're doing right now in Rochester.
Yeah, and obviously your top line set. You're not going to send Krebs down. You're not going to send Cousins down. Gergens is Okposo. Like, you only have a couple spots on forward that you can mess with.
Right.
That's pending bringing back anybody. So I was looking at center. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, bring Pat Kane over here. Let him finish his career here. It's like, all right, well, that's a winger.
Yeah.
What winger are you taking off? You want him to take Quinn's spot?
Right.
I don't.
You want that's what I mean. Like, I don't want to add too much of a veteran guy can eat a lot of minutes because I want to see these young guys get playing time. Otherwise, what's the point of having them here if they're playing 10, 15, not 10, 12 minutes a night when they could be playing 18 plus down in Rochester, getting the experience of the playing. So
I think guys like Peterka and Quinn,
I think they'll get the playing time.
99% of the time, I completely agree with you. But I think even if they played a whole game in Rochester, I don't know how much more development they can get down in the
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think they've reached their AHL ceiling. Now it's get them into the NHL and let them figure it out. So, like, that's why I look at center. You have a couple different third line centers. If you want to keep Middlestat, he's a third line center. If you want to move Cousins to a wing, that still causes a problem on the wing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't look at this team like you have a second line center.
Oh, I agree.
So that's why I didn't even give guys like, I would love Tarasenko, but he's a winger and that causes him more issues. Like, it sucks. It's a weird problem to have a problem in just one forward position in one spot in your lineup.
Really? Yeah, exactly.
Even your fourth line, you could plug Asplund in. You could sign Murray and put Murray in that spot in the fourth line, or Hinostroza like you have, or whatever. Like, that don't matter, but you get that second line centerman spot, you could do a lot with this lineup.
Mm-hmm. Especially somebody that can compete at a decent level against other teams' second lines and first lines.
Yeah, and that's like, there's some centermen where it's like, oh, he's pretty good, but like he's not he doesn't have the offensive skill set that you need.
Right.
I can't think of who it was. I was looking at somebody. I was like, oh, who was it? Nick Cousins.
Yep. I looked at him too.
It's like, man, he'd be good. Like, I would love him on the team at that third line centerman spot that is already crowded.
Right. He's going to be fighting the other two centers for that fucking position.
Yeah. Yeah. Olofsson, I think he's a UFA too. So you got to if you don't bring him back, that opens up a wing spot. But
yeah.
Which, if you got a second line centerman and then you trade it for Tarasenko, I would gladly have Tarasenko on one of your first two lines and then move Quinn down to your third. He's got options. I mean, that's the exciting part about this summer. I'm just looking at my team, and it's like, man, this is a lot of the similar names. I didn't change. It's hard for this lineup to change drastically, though.
Right. Well, that's the thing. That was the approach that Kevin Adams was wanting to take too, that he didn't want to make too many drastic moves. But I think if you plug and play a couple players here and there, it'll definitely gradually improve, especially like that spot there. I think they need to add maybe another D man that can take on a veteran role or fill in a veteran spot.
Spoiler alert, I have one.
Spoiler alert, I forgot a whole D man altogether. I'm looking, I'm like, yeah, I could put this guy with this guy. And I'm like, oh yeah, he's not even on my roster. So maybe we're gonna cross that guy out and put this guy.
You want to dive into defense then now?
Sure, yeah, we'll do that. What the fuck's this guy's name?
I'll start that since you're figuring that out.
Right,
so I have Owen Power and Rasmus Dahlin.
Ooh.
Matthias Samuelsson and Yoki Haru. I think though, like either one of those combinations could change easily.
Okay.
You put Samuelsson with Dahlin, you put Power with Yoki Haru, like it wouldn't matter. It's the bottom pairing that I have. It's not even problems with or the hardest time. It's just like I have Jacob Bryce. I have them bringing him back with Mark Pesic, and then they have bringing him back. It's like I have a problem with it because literally the defensive lineup didn't change at all, and that like I kind of have a problem. I will say I have a seventh defenseman that I would like them to bring in, and that's Jordy Ben. I think he would solidify. He's a UFA. He would solidify that seventh spot well. He'd play that a lot better than
he's very, very depth
Robert
guy.
Hag ever did, or even Will Butcher. And he wouldn't be expensive. I will say I could see them signing Bryson and keeping him in Rochester, and then going out and signing a guy like a PK Subban. And I don't like it. I'm not saying. I think that they would be looking at upgrading the offensive side of that, because Jacob Bryson and Mark Pesic, you're going to get like no offensive production on that. Yeah. And I mean, they're only going to play, minimal minutes compared to the top two pairings, but you still want to get something out of them. And that's PK Subban made a lot of money. He's not going to get paid like that anymore.
No.
So that's why I think you can get him fairly. I don't want to say fairly cheap, but a lot cheaper than what he just.
Not for $9 million.
No, you could probably get him for like $5 million.
That's that.
Yeah. And while $5 million is a lot, I wouldn't be doing a 5-year. I'd be doing like a 1-year $5 million. And because right now, this next year's contract, like salary cap or salary issues are non-existent. They could do an inflated contract for next year and they'd be perfectly fine.
Yep.
So he would be my big splash defensive acquisition, and I would not be happy for it.
I can't remember who went and got this guy, but so how my defense shaped out to be. Well, I totally forgot Yoki Haru. I don't know how the hell I forgot him.
The Joker.
So I have Dahlin with Samuelsson. I broke him in Power up. And then I have Power. I have him with Casey Fitzgerald. And then originally I had Bryson with Pesic, but maybe I'll switch Fitzgerald out with Yoki Haru and put Fitzgerald with Pesic. But I also had my dark horse with a defenseman that I would like them to see them go get was Nick Leddy.
Where did he go?
He got traded at the deadline to maybe not. Did he not get moved?
I do like Casey Fitzgerald. I think he's got to work his way back into the lineup. I would gladly take him over Jacob Bryson. Oh, he's playing for Minnesota.
Nick Leddy is?
Nick Leddy, yeah. Yeah, he got traded. Or
Okay,
no,
that's
he's
what I
St. Louis.
see. Right now, it's telling me the Red Wings.
Oh, he got drafted by Minnesota.
Mm-hmm. He was on the Islanders at the beginning of the year and got traded. Oh no,
He's in St.
I could have
Louis.
swore he got fucking. He is in St. Louis. See, I remember him getting dealt at the fucking deadline. So I don't know if that'll be a rental.
On March 21st. Oh, boom. On March 21st, 2022, he was traded to St. Louis Blues along with Luke Witkowski in exchange for Sundquist, Wallman, and a second round pick.
Yes, that's right. Okay. So I don't know if St. Louis plans on keeping him or whatnot, but if he's just a rental. But I think he'd be a good depth guy. He's been around the league for a little while.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he's not going to eat up a lot of your minutes from your up and coming stars there.
And that's the thing. Like, it's the same issue you got on forward. All right. Your top four are set.
Yep.
Your bottom pairing and your extra guy, that's what's kind of in flux. But even still, it's not necessarily in flux because you got young kids like Bryson and Fitzgerald, and they're very high on Mark Pesic. They kind of view him as the Akposo of the defensive room.
Yep. They say he's a good guy in the locker room.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't be surprised if he got brought back super cheap.
Yep. I could see that. Definitely veteran minimum.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's like you're gonna see them give out a contract that's just absurd because they're gonna have to get to the salary floor.
They got to get to the floor.
That's why I would be signing Thompson to an extension.
100%. I agree. Lock him up now. Maybe even just a 5-year deal.
Yeah, give him 5 years, $7 million.
Yep, I would be okay with that.
He would probably want like $9 million, but like I would start at 7.
Right. I would definitely be okay with that. Or go ahead and throw $11 million at Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I look at. It's like, all right, you got Eichel's contract off the books. Like you could easily just replace that. And then get like a hell of a lot better player.
You got Akposo's is his off next year, right?
Next year's his last year.
Oh, next. So 2023, 2020.
So next summer, I believe, is his last summer.
Okay. So also after that, you have Cody Hodgson's contract finally coming off the books.
Yeah, but it's not.
I mean, it's not really a lot.
$700,000 nothing.
Yeah. So, and I mean, this year,
if $700,000 is your difference between getting a Johnny Gaudreau and not getting a Johnny Gaudreau, then you're in a very interesting spot.
Also, this year too, we took on Johnny Boychuk's contract, which was like $6 million. That comes off.
Yeah, when did that happen?
Because we traded for him for that contract to help us get to the floor after we traded Eichel. It's either $6 or $7 million, but he's retired because he had a eye injury that forced him to retire.
Yeah.
So that'll come off the books too.
Yeah, next year is Akposo's contract year, if you want to look at it. But like if you trade Anders Bjork and Casey Middlestat, that's now over $4 million that you just got rid of. So if you got, Johnny Hockey for $11 million, that's only $7 million different swing.
I could deal with that.
Yeah.
What's Tarasenko's contract? I want to say his.
I'm looking at the first round picks. We have a Devils first. Oh, that's round 5. Oops, never mind. When the hell did we make that?
We got ours, Vegas's, and Florida's. We don't have a third round. I was looking at it last night.
It'd be hard for me to think that they're going to keep all 3 of their.
Oh yeah, I think they'll deal something
first rounds.
I agree. Maybe fuck it, deal all 3. Go get Shane Wright.
I'd take it. Tarasenko's a UFA.
Is he?
No.
Okay.
Next You keep hitting your mic?
What'd I do?
I keep hearing a bang.
Oh, my bad.
I keep hearing a bang. I don't know if you're hitting your mic or not.
No.
So next year, he's got $7.5 million cap hit.
Okay. So it was 7.5.
That's his contract year. He'll be 31 years old.
I mean, he did have a good year this year, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'd take it.
Even before what's his name signed his massive
Just
contract.
where do you fit him in? I don't know if I don't know. It's him being 31 years old. I don't know. Like if you're gonna trade your first rounders, I think I'd be looking otherwhere. Like I think you'd get him for without having to get rid of your first rounders. It would have to be like a decent package. Like
right.
If you're including your first rounders, I'd get rid of your Florida first rounder for him.
Yep. Because that's definitely a high one. I mean,
it's gonna be 25 or so. I don't know. They gotta get through Carolina still.
Yep. Well, that's what everybody was like. Oh no, it's the 32nd overall pick. No, well, Florida had the best record in the league. Yeah, it doesn't after the thing. It goes by playoffs after that. It doesn't have anything to do with how the regular season ended. So Florida could bow out in the first round, and then that's where the pick is. So it could be low 20s. So, which I don't see. I mean, who knows? Washington's playing. I don't know.
Washington, yes, really fine.
They're playing. It's just been a weird playoff, seeing these teams that dominate the regular season and then get to the playoffs and get worked by teams that were okay in the regular season. It's like, but they got the playoff experience.
And it's also like the Rangers are having goalie issues. I think Carolina is too.
Oh yeah, Freddie Anderson's hurt. They got Ranta.
Yeah, the one day they had to go down to like their third string goalie or something like that. Mm-hmm. That sucks. But speaking of goalies.
Yes. You have none of them coming back?
So I have basically none of them.
Okay.
One's still under contract, I think.
Isn't UPL?
And is UPL. I'm assuming he's still under contract.
Yeah, I thought we signed him to a 3-year deal.
Yeah, I thought we just did. I forgot about Oskari Laxton, and maybe he makes a jump. No, UPL's a RFA.
Oh, okay.
Michael Hauser's a UFA. Aaron Dell's a UFA. Malcolm Subban's a UFA.
Bye.
Anderson's a UFA. Dustin Tokarski's a UFA. So going into next year, we have 0 goalies under contract.
Nice.
So
just like this
just means they have to bring somebody back, or they have to get somebody.
Yep. Which I was looking at some of the goalie free agents. I know Marc-Andre Fleury is a free agent. Darcy Kemper is, which I don't want Fleury. Fleury ain't going here. I can already tell you that. He'll retire because he didn't want to go to Chicago originally, and then said he didn't want to get moved. And so
he'll retire because Minnesota's going to win the cup.
Yeah, well, they got to win or they're out.
2 in a row. Yeah, my goal is I do have Darcy Kemper. I think they go after him.
Ooh.
I think he's having a really good year in Colorado. Part of the best tandem out there, pretty much. I have UPL as well, and I think they bring Craig Anderson back as a veteran minimum type deal.
I had Anderson and UPL coming back, and then I didn't have anybody else.
There really isn't I don't like Fleury. There really wasn't anybody that jumped off the page.
There was that Richie that was whatchamacallit's back up there in Nashville for UC Saros, which he had an R8 season, but
who was a Corpusalo, I think, as a free agent, but he fell off big time.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a lot of backups.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Not a lot of
it's
netminders that'll eat your games.
Yeah, we just went through that. Anderson was our starter, and he's got an AARP card. Like that's why I'd be fine if you brought him back as the third, kind of as like an emergency role type player.
Right. Which he'll probably get some good playing time with how our repertoire goes with goalies every year.
How UPL's made of glass. That's like I'm not high on UPL anymore.
Nope, me either.
Like he's out of the AHL playoffs. He hasn't even played a single minute there.
Nope, yeah, he's hurt again. That was like the same thing that we ran into the problem last year with Allmark. Like, did we really want to keep him around? Because sweet, yeah, when he's on, but he played, I think, over the last 3 seasons, a total of like 20 games. Sorry, when you're supposed to be this starting goalie that's supposed to be our number one guy, you're supposed to be eating 50 to 60 games, not 20 over 3 seasons.
I think they give him like a 2-year deal, kind of like a 2-year prove it deal. Stay healthy. You know, this is your last chance type deal. I mean, I would be fine if you even gave him a 1-year deal.
Yeah, me too.
We'll see. I mean, that is the position that I probably am paying the most attention to see what he does. Just because that's the glaring need. I mean, second line center, you could get away with Cousins or Krebs or somebody like that. I don't think that's your long-term goal, or that should be, but you need a goalie.
Yeah. Yep. If you can't have somebody between the pipes every night, knowing that you can rely on that, or you've got the revolving door again where we may get 4 years in a row with 7 different goalies. So
yeah. If you see Michael Hauser in the NHL again, that's you're having issues.
Yep, exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was a cool story, but
yeah, same thing with Tokarski when he got his first win in like 7 years or whatever it was. But they're just not. They're not NHL starters.
Nope.
If you want to start competing, you need to get an NHL starter.
Exactly.
Trade one of your picks. I don't know who you trade it for. It's not like people are giving away NHL starters.
Right. I don't want to go after like another like Craig Anderson-esque guy, like going after like a Braden Holtby or like a Mike Smith or somebody like that are decent, but
I mean, I don't know, because like Minnesota just did with Cam Talbot and it worked out very well for them.
True.
So a lot it's I don't know, it's just weird. The goalie market's always just been really weird. I mean, you're like in Florida, they just pay Bobrovsky super buttloads of money. And I would rather have Spencer Knight playing.
Oh yeah, he's been average.
Yeah.
I mean, when he's on, he's good, but when he's off, he's horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, can you rely especially on the contract and the money that they're paying him?
I mean, like he's not a guy I'd go after. It's hard when you go out of your own house to get a goalie. Like at least like with guys like Levi or Portillo or UPL, you've been watching these guys, you've been developing these guys, you have a good idea of hopefully what you're gonna get.
Right.
Guys that you bring in house from the streets or whatever, or the market, you're just hoping for the best.
Yeah. Unless you're going and already getting a well-established guy that you know it's been proven in the NHL. You're not going to go out and sign like a Nedeljkovic that hasn't really panned out yet for like he was with Carolina and then went to the Red Wings, who didn't really pan out like
or Fleury. He's an established goalie and goes to Chicago. He's just hot garbage.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to gauge it. It's impossible. It's like the quarterback market in the NFL. You hope, but you just never know.
Yep. Because Fleury was solid when he was in Vegas, but he also had a decent team around him. So
great team.
The
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, exactly. You go like, I don't think there's a lot of guys on the market or even in the league really that are other than, I mean, Carey Price is probably over the hump now, but you got guys like Vasilevsky that are going to steal you games or honestly, really, I don't know anybody else that are your top tier goalies that are, you got him back there. You don't really have to rely on much of anything else around him.
St. Louis's goalie, Husso.
Bennington. Oh, Husso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bennington. No. Like that's a waste of money. They should not have paid on that money.
Nope, I agree. I think
that was a knee-jerk decision that they should not have made.
Yep, I agree. Let's go get him.
I mean, he was an upgrade at Tokarski and all that.
Right.
And hopefully he can stay healthy. He's a nutcase, though.
Oh, yeah, he's a fucking head case for sure. Maybe you need that, though, a little bit of dirty grit out of your goalie. Go get Robin Leonard again.
I was going to say, yeah, let's bring him back. He talks very lovely about Buffalo.
Sure does. He hated his time here. But, yeah, that was my other thing. My other ad that I had was we need a goalie. Make some kind of move, make something for a goalie. I don't know who or what's going to be on the market, but
a lot of backups.
Unfortunately, yeah, nothing. It's going to jump out.
Yeah, there's no like starter that's hitting the market or you might get into a bidding war.
Right.
And even if he would have, I'm sure the team would lock him up before he could even hit free agency.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know Georgiev and the Rangers, he was being talked about being shopped at the deadline. Like he had a very subpar season and he's a backup. So, but he's younger. It's just it's if they're gonna make a move, it's gonna be making a trade and hoping for the best. They're probably gonna make a Robin Leonard type trade.
Unfortunately.
Hopefully it's not a first round pick. Hopefully it's a lot lower. But yeah, I think they'll make a trade for a goalie and kind of hope that's what it is. Hopefully it pans out like Levi is so far. They just get immediate NHL help instead of in the future.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if we really think that the goalies that we have down the pipe are the ones of the future, if we think UPL and Levi and Portillo are legit, maybe then this goalie that we bring in this year is just enough to fill that gap until then. But how long is it going to take? Because like you said, I think it's definitely a prove it time for UPL because he's been in an organization for how long now and he can't crack this roster. I know his health been a big issue, but even if him not staying in the NHL, I think that's a huge thing.
Yeah, we'll see. That's why I think you go after like a Darcy Kemper. He's a little older. He's a seasoned vet. He's been around the league. You sign him to a 1 year, 2 year, maybe even 3 year deal. So that way he eventually becomes the backup to one of those kids or whatever.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, let him lose the net. But yeah, I'd be okay with that too.
Yep.
But all else. So you want Vincent Trocheck and Johnny Hockey?
I mean, in Dream World, yeah, Johnny Hockey or even Phil Forsberg. I think Vincent Trocheck is the one that you have the realistic chance of going after. I mean, you're going to be paying Johnny Hockey $11 million.
Oh, yeah, he's getting
on your second line. I mean, like, not many teams are paying that kind of money for a second line center.
No. Maybe you plug him out, put Tuck on the second line and put Johnny Hockey up there with Skinner and Thompson.
You move Thompson back to the wing.
Johnny Hockey can play wing too.
Yeah, but then you still have the problem at second line center.
True.
I mean, like I can't even think of the phrase, but like it's a real good problem to have with all that weapons, but you still need a second line center. Not many people can do what Thompson did, and that's put a winger at center and it would work out good.
Right.
Chances of us doing it 2 years in a row with two different players or whatever, might as well buy a lotto ticket.
Right. Good luck.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why I would like Trocheck. They actually go out and sign him, I'm buying a Trocheck jersey.
There you go.
But since I called it right here, all the way back in May.
Yep. But also, we did find out yesterday our draft order. We got the 9th with our pick, and then we got the 16th from Vegas with the Eichel trade. Which that's the best case scenario that we wanted or could have hoped for. That panned out. So could they have gotten any better? Like they could have gotten
Shane Wright.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, but I mean, like for Eichel's pick wise, could they have gotten
Yes,
up to 11?
to 11? No. It's weird. Basically, like it was a 99 point something chance of it being at 16, and then there's a 0.2 chance of going to like 8th, and then like a 0.2 chance of going to like 9th or something like that. Like it was weird how the odds worked. Basically, they had a less than a 1% chance of moving. So it was all but set in stone for 16th.
It's all right.
Yeah, fine with it.
Right? Even if you package that with something too, because that's still a decent pick.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd trade that one. It would depend on the trade. I was like, if it's to get Shane Wright, then yeah, sure, absolutely. But
because there is talks too that Shane Wright might not go first overall. This Cooley kid's been coming out of nowhere, I heard.
Be shocked.
I would too, but
we'll see. I mean, there's always that name that pops up.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see what they do at 16. They also do need to add some more prospects into, like, especially with Rochester. If they do what we expect them to do next year, like there goes all their prospective talent.
Yep, that's a big depletion.
There'd be nobody there left, pretty much, except Picard or Pikash or whatever you want to call his name. Scary Laxonen. Like, there's only like 2 or 3 guys. And you don't need a whole roster full of NHL quality prospects, but you want to have a good handful, though.
I agree.
So they might stay put. I look at that Florida pick, and I think that's the one that gets moved.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. What do you think about? I think since the last time we talked, Ryan Johnson said he's going back for his senior year at Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, the longer it went on, the more that became expected. So I'm not surprised, and I don't know if he would have been on the NHL roster.
I don't think so.
I think that it would be nice, and I think I have said before, like how that would be awesome to have him as your third pairing left defenseman, but I think realistically he'd be in Rochester. So I'll go back Minnesota, play good, and see you next summer, hopefully.
Right. Hopefully this time next year, though, we're talking about the Sabres in the playoffs.
Hopefully how they just missed the playoffs. I'd be fine with that too. I'd be playing meaningful games. That's all I ask. Let's be in the hunt.
You just got to get 100 points.
Seriously, that's gonna be tough.
Right.
Gonna be tough, especially without a goalie.
Yeah, because if you looked at how bad the drop off was from 8 to 9, it was almost 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah. Which still blows my mind. Yeah, I understand the Islanders had an off year and everything, but they fired Barry Trotz after that. Like, I understand you were in the Eastern Conference Finals the year prior, but how much is it a fluke year of your 26 game away stand to start the season, your COVID issues, your health issues? But I mean, I understand Lou Lamoriello doesn't like to be patient. So
no, and he's got his ways. He's very set in his ways.
Oh yeah. So there's got to be a reason for his madness. So
yes. Yeah. Whether or not we'll agree with it or criticize it or whatever.
Right.
He's very stuck in his ways.
But the playoffs are shaping up well too. So there's been some entertaining games, or some entertaining series.
I have barely watched any.
Oh, really?
Yeah, honestly, like the first night was so lopsided that it turned me off from playoff hockey. I mean, it was 5-0 games, 4-1s. Like it was.
They've been some pretty dominant ones, but then I mean, you had a few that have gone to overtime. But
yeah, and even like who just scored in overtime? The other night, somebody scored in overtime, and like it wasn't that Chris Drury scoring in overtime feel,
right?
It doesn't have that. Maybe it's because it's the first round. I don't know. And it's because I also might not have any say in the teams, but I don't know. It's just I'm not feeling it so far. There have been some good games, but I haven't. It hasn't been enough to turn me onto it.
Oh yeah, I agree. There's only been a handful that have been actually worth watching. Like one night Toronto was up 5-0, then the next night they got blown out 4-1. Then the next night they won or lost again. Then the next night they won. It's like, but they weren't like close games. Like last night's game for Toronto was actually a good, entertaining game. It was close, back and forth in the third period. Other than that, the rest of that series, it's been the team that won dominated.
Yeah.
So
and that's kind of how Florida, that was the game. They scored in overtime the other night. And they're just, not like fucking a Pentagon off diving in on the ice to center rink and all that.
Right.
So it's just been, like I said, it's been domination. I think, honestly, the most competitive series has probably been the Dallas series.
Yeah. To be honest, it's actually been kind of boring with the very little to no goal scoring.
Yeah. I mean, like Colorado sweeping Nashville.
You kind of
like,
had a feeling that was coming, especially with them losing Saros.
Yeah. So yeah, I just haven't really. It has not grabbed my attention yet. It will, but right now I'm just I don't know. I don't even know what mood I'm in. I'm not necessarily in baseball mood. Football mood a little bit here and there, but like I don't know. The hockey world hasn't grabbed my attention, and that's with having Minnesota as my other team in it. And like it's been a win-loss.
Yep.
But one of these nights, it'll be the night that Minnesota gets knocked out.
I'm gonna tune in tonight. Game 6, Minnesota. Oh, they're done.
Yeah, pretty much. That'll be what's it? Tomorrow night. Yep. Yeah, they'll lose.
But if I were you, I would throw money on Tampa Bay tomorrow night.
I haven't bet money. I am retiring from gambling until football season.
Oh, okay. Well, because
I get stupid bets, and it's just like I put a $1 bet that would win me like $1 million, and it's like it's not gonna hit, but that's what I do because it's like, oh, what if it did hit?
Right. Well, because you see all these things happen before where all these people make these bets. This guy made a 20-team parlay and they all hit, and he was $750,000 richer on a $3 bet. It's like, go fuck yourself. How the hell did you figure that out?
He sat on a fucking horseshoe. It's up his ass.
Right. But Vasilevsky is 15-0 in his career in the playoffs after coming off a loss.
Yes, with a lot of shutouts too.
Yeah, I think he's got 6 shutouts. So that might be just. I don't think Tampa Bay is going quietly.
No, I hope they don't. I don't want Toronto to win.
I don't either. Yeah, they win a fucking series. God, we'll never hear the end of it from any Toronto.
I mean, it was a good comeback win last night, though. I'll give them that credit.
Yep. But the only teams I really don't want to see go on, I mean, I'd hate to see Dallas go on because I just don't want it down here. And I just want everybody to shut everybody up about Connor McDavid this, Connor McDavid that. He dominates in the regular season. And we can't get it done in the fucking playoffs. I want to see Edmonton get fucking rocked. I want to see them done too.
Be nice to see them out. Yeah, Edmonton and Toronto. Honestly, it's any Canadian team. Like, I just don't want them to win.
Right? Keep that
'Cause
streak going.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice that it's their sport. Well, then win it.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years.
Yeah, when was the last game? Montreal?
Yep, 93.
90s? So that's it. Don't even Calgary, who I don't mind. Like, I got nothing against Calgary. I like Johnny Hockey and the Kachucks.
Well,
But
that's the thing that's kind of blowing my mind with Calgary right now. I understand maybe Dallas's defense has been playing pretty good, but their top line this year combined for over 120 goals. And they have total, other than the other night when they scored 4, that whole team had a total of 5 goals coming into game 5.
yeah, it's playoff hockey.
Yeah, man.
It's a
That's
lot
like
different.
that's what I was alluding to earlier in the segment, talking about these teams that dominated the regular season get in there playing these grizzled teams that have been in the playoffs constantly. And Washington's giving it to Florida, Pittsburgh's giving it to the Rangers. You know, these guys know what playoff hockey is. They know how to battle through it or what they need to do to get it done. You have your dark horses coming out of nowhere and picking up goals and getting in the spots that they need to.
Reinhart got his first playoff goal.
Yep.
Happy
Good for him.
Yeah. You got nothing against him.
Nope. That's all I got for the Sabres, man.
That's all I got.
I like it. Hopeful. Like to see where the
We'll
team's
see.
going in the future. So
July 1st.
Yep.
Be free agency.
The draft's the few days prior to that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm out of town for July 1st.
Oh no.
I will be driving. I'll be on the road. So I'll be tuned in. Listen to the radio. Kids don't need to listen to Disney music. We gotta listen to NHL.
Yeah. Instigators.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll probably be on actually. Yep.
Yep. I like it. It's a nice day. It's like we say every week or every time we do this, it's nice to be hopeful for once. It's been a while. It's been a long time coming. It's not another season in the books. Who's going to be bitching and moaning? Who are we going to get rid of? Are we going to make a splash? Now it's all right. Who are we going to get rid of to make a splash to better this team? So,
look at all the options we can do.
Yeah. A lot of room. I like it. All right, folks. Well, thanks for tuning in. Sabres Beerleaguers. We appreciate it. Let us know what you guys think. What you guys think your rosters, our rosters, the Sabres rosters. How you think the team's going to shape out. If you have any crazy dark horses or wild people, players that you think or want added, let us know. But until next time, fellas, maybe next time we'll have our fun thing that Jake and I are going to do with our all-time Sabres draft.
Yeah, we'll do that.
One I've been wanting to do for a while. So until then,
number 1 overall, Lindy Ruff.
Andrew Peters.
Ooh,
good locker room guy.
Yeah. We need a veteran presence.
All right, adios, folks.